Hi everyone. So it is cold in Montana. Today we are rocking like 15 degrees. Luckily it's sunny though, so that helps make things feel a lot better. But today I'm going to talk about a water setup I have. I have it over here for my horses, and then I also have it back home for a big tank in like a water tire that I've put in a couple other videos. So when it's really cold like this and we're out where we don't have electricity, I have an aerator set up. So a lot of people use aerators for ponds and fish tanks, things like that. Helps with the algae, supposedly. But I use it to help keep the water from freezing. So the setup I have was, I think, like $30 off of Amazon. I had heard from another person on Facebook that they recommended using an aerator if you don't have electricity for your water. So I tried it. And it worked good enough that I got a second setup for the horses out here because we are so far away from home. Home is way over there. So, no electricity out here. So what I went with is solar. There's my little solar panel. It's all frozen, but there's a couple screws in there that were screwed right here to the corner of my water tank, and my horses would not leave it alone. They kept pulling it off, so I put it out there outside of the fence so that they can't touch it. This is my little motor, and then at the bottom I have my tubing. If your tubing gets bad, hard, crusty, anything like that, you can buy extra off of Amazon, just fish tank supplies. But our water for the horses at this point is just what are these called? ICB, IBC tank, something like that. It had fish oil in it, so it's not super clean, but a little bit of fish oil, one, won't hurt the horses, and two, might actually be good for them. And this was free. So my husband cut the top off and put some wood around it to give it stability. And then there's my water tank. So it's not the most beautiful thing, but you can see I have one side that is full of ice. And I have this side that is very drinkable. You can see the bubbles coming from my aerator. What the bubbles do is it just keeps the water going and moving so it can't freeze. Kind of like a river takes a lot longer to freeze than a standing pond. So I did have to break a little bit of ice here on this side. I leave the ice over here because this ice is helping insulate my water in my tank from the air around me, because the air is a lot colder. And then especially when you get wind whipping around. So I only break that much ice this morning because my aerator wasn't working because it's solar, so it is obviously based off the sun. It wasn't working, so I broke a little bit of ice, and then as soon as the sun came out, it started working. It's been super cloudy lately. We've gotten a lot of snow and a lot of rain and just all the things. But now it's working great. I didn't even need to break ice this afternoon. It's about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is doing exactly what it needs to be doing. It's keeping this side thawed. I don't care about this side, and it's leaving, really all I need is a hole big enough for my horses to drink out of. So this boy right here has water all the time. It's obviously cold. I don't know if you can see his breath. Yeah, you kind of can. It's chilly. What I've learned with the aerator, flip you around. What I've learned with the aerator is it works really well for mediocrely cold weather. So if you are at that 15 to 20 degrees or above, and that's your cold, then it works well. Once you start getting to that 10 degrees or -0 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when this just doesn't work. It's just simply too cold. I bring back the river example. Like a river, when it's cold enough, it's just going to freeze. And it takes longer because it's moving, but this is the same thing. When it's just that cold, it's going to freeze. There he's getting a drink. I see them. I just gave them oats. They like to drink after their oats. So when it's really, really cold, I will bring these horses back home, and I can set up a heater in the tank back home. Unfortunately, it is running extension cords, but it works fine for when we get that really cold snap. But otherwise, because we don't generally get super cold, some people are thinking 15, 20 degrees is super cold, but we don't generally get below 10 for like a long stretch of time. This works for most of the winter. And when it doesn't, like I said, I'll just have to figure something else out. So yeah, that's a relatively cheap option if you're looking. Say hi, Ginger. If you're looking for a cheap option and you don't have electricity, and maybe you either don't get this cold, or you're kind of like me and you want something that works most of the time, and you'll figure something out for the few times it doesn't work, this is a great option. I recommend it. I can put the link for the aerator I personally got off of Amazon. I'm not sponsored by them, nothing like that. It's just something I use and have found works well enough. The other one I've had for, I think, 2 years now, and it's still, holding a charge good. When you have a bunch of days that are really cloudy or days that are really short, like we get, we're dark by 5 p.m. right now, you can only expect so much from something that is solar powered. But again, it's $30, works most of the time, so I go with it. So I'll drop the link for what I have bought, and you can tweak it or do with what you want with it, but it's a good idea. So until next time.